Hello, one and all, and welcome to episode 7 of Peace Talk, where I interview and profile YouTube personalities, astrologers, and other spiritualists. And this week we have, or actually this week we had two Leos, and the second Leo is Brittany. How you doing, Brittany?
Hey, how are you? I'm doing good.
You go by Spiritual Healing by the Signs, correct?
The name of my channel and my Facebook and my website is Spiritual Healing for the Signs. And here's what it looks like. Here's a little logo. You can see
That's a
that.
pretty dope card right there.
Thanks. Yeah, Spiritual
Nice.
Healing for the Signs. You can look it up on YouTube and Facebook.
So, what exactly is your spiritual healing for the signs, right? Like, what were you going for when you created it? What is it to you?
Well, I'm a healer, essentially, and I have a very big interest in astrology. It's just a really passionate hobby of mine. I love it. I love seeing it in people that I interact with day to day. It's hard to get me to stop talking about it. And I heal through connecting on an intuitive, deep level. And working with the zodiac helps me get more specific in my healing and gear it toward a specific audience.
Nice, nice. That's what it is. What exactly got you into astrology? How did you start on your journey?
Well, I was always kind of curious about astrology, but I have to say, similar to a lot of people, it really picked up in 2012. And I'd say, as far as getting deeper into astrology past the sun signs, um, it was like a need for it, essentially. I recovering from abuse. I suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, and it's something that my blueprint chose in this incarnation. And it helped me. It was one of the key components in helping me understand what was going on with me and what's to come. And it really piqued my interest in it in a deeper way than surface level of let's check my horoscope today.
It gave you that extra dimension that your soul is craving for. I like that.
Yeah.
Um, Definitely can relate to that as well, knowing that I'm more than just a Gemini, but I have a moon sign that completely and accurately tells me how my mom treated me and raised me. It blows my mind every time. So, so do you also speak on other things other than astrology as well? What else do you talk about? I noticed on your channel, you don't really keep it strictly astrology. You like to speak on other themes and topics that people may be interested in.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. I'm a firm believer in following your heart and working strictly by intuition. So, and I don't like to limit myself just under the blanket of astrology, but I talk about things that I myself have healed from, such as narcissistic parents, depression, self-esteem, starseed children, ascension, alchemy, all the things that I'm really passionate about.
Nice. And that is why I could, sit for hours watching a Leo, because it comes straight from the heart, whether you really agree with them or not. They're not trying to lie to you. Like, they're really telling you what they truly believe deep inside. How do you feel being a Leo kind of gives you the edge, not in a competitive sense, but like, how does that affect the way your videos come across to us?
Well, I know Leos really gravitate towards YouTube and being in the spotlight and entertainment. And I'm a performing artist. I acted for a good portion of my life, and I'm still integrating that into my life. And it was just YouTube was calling me. It started a while ago doing natural hair videos way back when, and then it just evolved into integrating the passion of getting my voice out there and this spiritual awakening. And Leo wants the spotlight. Leo wants to be the boss of their own enterprise, so that I think gives me a leg up.
Nice. The one thing I do like about watching Leos in this line of work is they kind of just assume certain terms like star seeds and awakening, and it kind of like allows you to join them on that journey. Not necessarily in a way where you're explaining each step. You kind of like draw us in and teach us at the same time. Would you mind talking more about what star seeds are and what these different constellations may be and the whole ideology behind it?
Yeah, I can give you my knowledge. I'm in the works of trying to interview someone who's really well versed in it, so cross your fingers for that. But
Okay.
starseed children essentially, well, from my knowledge, everyone has some type of hybrid mix within them. No one is 100% human being, so to speak. Our junk DNA is that spiritual DNA. Our DNA, there's no part of our DNA that's junk. But anyway, specifically the starseed children, they are hybrids. They're forking between Earth and their particular planet. And or it's like intertwined DNA, and they come with a different perspective on Earth. They are more sensitive to the energies. They're not really with the third dimensional duality consciousness, and it's to manipulate this change and really affect. So as far as like planets are concerned and different types, I know there's Pleiades, there are Arcturian, which is what I identify with, which is associated with the planet Boots. There's Andromeda, there's Lyrans, I've had some interactions with them, Sirius, all kinds. And I hope I can get this interview with a person who knows even more than I do and getting more details of that. So.
That'll be definitely interesting to watch. I'd love to see an interview like that because it just makes you, it really opens your mind up to all the different possibilities out there and makes you wonder, wow, like I'm more than just an earthling here. Interestingly enough, what other than, these distinctions of star seeds would you say also contributes to where we're developing at? I know a lot of people talk a lot about the third dimension and the fourth dimension and the fifth dimension. What do you feel about dimensions in your personal view?
Okay, well, this earthly plane is right now, well, essentially all the dimensions exist at once, depending on what level of consciousness you are able to tap into with that. And right now working with third dimensional energies, physical energies, tangible energies, more associated with survival and duality and right, wrong, and war and black, white, and separation in religion. And fourth dimensional realities is, I know some people have experienced astral projection and supernatural or paranormal experiences within the third dimensional plane, and that would be interacting with the fourth dimension. And then fifth dimension, to my understanding, is more of oneness, understanding that there is no duality, which is where we're headed, and it's, in my opinion, going to alleviate a lot of suffering, because when you understand that we are one, then within our own unique blueprint, then it kind of takes away competition and uplifts the unique individual and allows for forgiveness, understanding, and compassion.
Interesting. I definitely do resonate with that. I could agree as far as ooh, us heading toward a time of more understanding of our connectedness and interconnectivity and oneness. Um, how do you feel about lucid dreams and astral projections as like these energy shifts are taking place? Do you feel more people may just induce these things and suddenly awaken to more possibilities when they're filling out their body and realize they can expand what they are outside their mind?
Oh, definitely. When you tap into these aspects that are not limited by the third dimension, you begin to validate our limitlessness as a spiritual being. It allows you to understand that there's more to life than what we see here. And you also come to understand that life is a game, and there's a great way to play it, and it can help you start your alchemical process and have a death and rebirth.
I'm good. I'm all
Create
settled. Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool, cool.
Yeah, it's a little noisy.
Interestingly enough,
Where are you?
I actually, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm kind of grateful that now we have this kind of awareness out there, so that when people suddenly get this almost rude awakening, it's almost like they have resources that can guide them and kind of show them, oh, you're not alone. We also do this as well, and here's what we know, so you could not necessarily catch up, but like join and contribute as well. What do you feel will where do you feel this is going right now? Where do you feel we are in these shifts, and where do you feel we're going?
Well, right now we're moving pretty slowly. This is a healing age, pretty much. We're moving from, the Piscean age of duality to the Aquarian age of information and understanding that we have a choice, and understanding that we're limitless, and understanding that spirit does exist, and understanding how to heal the body in more holistic, natural ways, and that there's just more to what meets the eye. And I think right now, in a way to transition to that process, it takes a lot of facing of the self and uncovering subconscious issues and trauma and just working out those blockages. So right now I feel like what's happening is extreme heavy duty healing, and on the majority aspect we'll get to incorporating bigger ideas like dimensions on a wider stream later. You know what I mean? Right now it's about healing and coming up with miraculous discoveries on how to help with disease and how to heal those childhood wounds and how to start that business and how to heal that relationship or how to let go of what no longer serves you. Things like that.
Interesting. I totally agree. That's the one thing I get from all this grand water trine energy that's we've been going through, like making sure we have the right emotional roots to even go out there and be passionate in what we desire and whatnot. Interestingly enough, you did mention, healing relationships. Where do you see? I feel like there is a big shift that we're going through, obviously in relationships. But I mean, we're also used to hearing about, you have to love yourself before you. don't want to say experience the love you desire, because then it makes it sound like loving yourself is just transactional. But what do you feel about, people's approach towards love and relationships? Do you feel they'll stay traditional, or are they going to evolve into new? Because I mean, you could argue that people aren't ready for it yet, or maybe something may happen.
I definitely think that we're evolving towards a world where love is free energy, pretty much. And so I definitely believe that there will be more unconventional relationships and not even bound by a title or label or anything like that. Um, and as far as self-love is concerned, self-love, a lot of people have trouble balancing humility and selfishness, and what it truly means to honor the self. And a lot of relationships are built on dependency, insecurity, comfortability, and not rooted in what they need, not necessarily what they want, you know what I mean? So a lot of relationships are not rooted in true love. It's rooted in a comfort, a feel-good energy. So I believe that we're moving towards an age, towards a time where our relationships become more authentic, and in doing that, become more free and more unconventional.
Beautiful, beautifully said. I totally agree. That'll be pretty fun to see where it goes. I mean, I could totally see it starting off as a bit controversial and then quickly getting accepted by our youth and whatnot. Um, yeah. So, normally I like jump into a few question answer games, but I do have a couple more questions for you. As far as what do you feel? How do you feel like these things will be? Because I mean, this shift is happening worldwide, but you really do only see or hear about it in maybe several popular parts of the world, maybe like America or the UK. How do you feel like other countries will be able to integrate the energy of these shifts, where it's still very tough to be free in your beliefs? I imagine in some places you still get killed for preaching the word of Jesus Christ and stuff like that. Nonetheless, talking about, star seeds and astrology.
Well, I actually think America is one of the hardest countries to come out with this information because it is so narcissistic and kind of built on keeping us sedated. So,
True.
and there are some countries, I believe, that are more accepting and more free and like have gotten the picture. There's some countries that are embracing UFOs and are like way past this. And then there are there are the countries that are more traditional. And the way I view that is it's a colorful array of variety on this earthly plane. It wouldn't be a fun game to play if everyone was at the same consciousness level, and that depending on what you incarnate into is what challenge you decided to face. I believe incarnating during this time is brave to begin with, and then incarnating in America is brave because we're a bully. But I think there's an outrage and a beauty in the different levels of consciousness and different levels of awakening and variety within the different countries. And it wouldn't be fun if you weren't taboo to some people, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's the way I see it.
Yeah, I totally agree. That energy of being taboo and a rebel kind of makes life pretty spicy and exciting. What I always ask this question, what do you feel about the Pluto and Sagittarius and Pluto and Capricorn generations and how they're going to continue our efforts and you know, take it in their own direction, whatever, all this progress?
I was thinking about that kind of similarly to my May oracle card reading, and just like, you know, the Pluto and Scorpio, our generation, we're gonna know what it is to experience all this duality and all this pain and all this heartache and yada yada yada, and then we're gonna go through the transition and see how we're the ones creating the new world, and then come out on the other end and have manifested it, and then our children are gonna be born for a different era. Essentially, every time you have children, they're born for a different world, and they're gonna be soaking up, reaping the benefits of our labor, of our work, you know. And we can look at it one of two ways. We can be like our parents and say, you know, back in my day, I had it so hard, and you better be appreciative, and trying to take old principles and force them into the new one. Or we can acknowledge the evolution of the times and say, you know, this is what we had to go through, we paved the way, and now it's time to get over that hurt and pain and celebrate and be happy in this new earth, essentially, and even learn from the next generations to come. And I hope to be that kind of parent, and guiding them through the wisdom that I've learned having been here longer, but also learning from their not shaded soul or jaded soul, you know what I mean?
Interesting. Definitely resonate with that as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to when those generations come of age, because they'll like, I could totally see them like going on some completely different path that just has us like, whoa, what the hell? But definitely approaching it maturely and understanding that they have their own awakening and path to do, bridging what we've done is necessary. Well, this is a part where I'm going to ask, we're going to play a quick game where we take turns asking each other 3 questions. I'll actually start off. They could be, I like to keep them zodiac themed, but they could be any questions. Who is more boring, a Taurus or a Capricorn? I have my Mercury in Taurus, so, you know, I could put you to sleep with my voice, and I'll like reiterate things people say in the most redundant way, but is that more boring, that energy more boring than Capricorn? Or to you? What do you feel?
That's so funny because I find both to be so boring. This is just skewed on my personal experience, and I'm gonna have to go with the Taurus energy because they can really relax into their boring ass energy with their little tea, reading their books, just sitting up lounging. And then at least with the Capricorns, I can flirt with them. I can tap into their party animal part because they work so damn hard, and then they have to go and party and release all that energy and go do drugs or something. So
True that, yeah.
at least they have that aspect to them. So I'm going to say the Taurus is more boring because I can party with the Capricorn when they're done with their boring ass work.
The Taurus will be at the party just still lounging on the couch.
Above it all.
Yeah.
Sipping their drink.
True that. Nice.
Is it my turn, or are you going to go again?
Oh, okay, yes, it's your turn. We're going to alternate.
Wait, what's your rising and your moon sign?
Taurus and Capricorn.
Oh wow. I'm a
Yeah.
rising Gemini and a moon in Cancer.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What degree is your Cancer moon?
Uh, 21, I think it is. I have it right here. I'm not good at memorizing things, so.
Oh, mine is like 23 degrees Capricorn, so it's like almost opposite.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. I have a question. Let's see. Who would you rather have sex with? A Leo woman or a Scorpio woman?
Oh snap. That's a good question. Um, I've never had sex with either yet. I've had,
Ooh.
yeah. Um, I mean, Scorpio just has that rap for good sex and whatnot. But I think they'd be maybe if it was like someone who I had very, very strong feelings for and we were in a relationship and it was like making love kind of sex, I might do it with the Scorpio, but I would have to choose a Leo because my Mars is in Aries, so that energy would just be a lot more fun to me. It wouldn't be so like slow and emotional. It'd be like fun and I mean Leo's a diva in bed too, so I'm pretty sure that would work well with my Gemini energy to make it pretty lively. And I mean, the Scorpio would be great for my Taurus and Capricorn, but yeah, I know one of the most fun times I did have sex with was the Sagittarius, so I would have to say Leo. But it's a tough one. They're both really good.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Um, hmm. Would you oh, would you rather give birth to a Libra or an Aquarius?
I would probably rather give birth to a Libra
Interesting.
because I cannot stand the stubbornness of an Aquarius. I get along with Libra so well, and they fulfill my need of like 50-50 and being fair, and they give great advice. And I feel like if you raise them up right, they're just going to be amazing.
Mhm.
And I don't want to be competitive with my kids, and that's my opposite sign, so Aquarius.
Mhm.
So Libra.
Interesting. Libra kids are cool. They're pretty chill.
They can be crazy though. They
When they hit their teenage years, they can go pretty
psycho.
rebellious.
Um, let's see. Hmm. What question do I have? Would you rather get into a fight with an Aries woman or a Sagittarius man?
Oh my gosh. I would have to take my chances with the Sagittarius man. I feel like I can outsmart the Sagittarius man, but there's no outsmarting an Aries woman because while you're trying to outsmart them, they're just throwing up the dukes, and they won't hesitate. And yeah, I've actually seen an Aries woman angry, and
It's
it's not
scary.
fun. It's pretty scary. Yeah, and that's not to say the Sag man wouldn't like be a complete wildfire in the forest either, but I think my chances with the Sag man would be a lot better than with an Aries woman because they don't play around at all whatsoever. Um, yeah, yeah, I'd have to go with the Sag man. So, interestingly enough, I was going to ask you something to do with Sag. Let's say you were at the final stage of um, American Idol, and you made it to the last round, but you had to choose between well, you didn't have to choose, but if you had to choose between a Sagittarius or a Gemini, who would you rather have to face in the final round?
That's hard because Geminis can be little competitive pricks.
Yeah.
And Sagittarius, everyone loves them, and they can turn that on. You know what? I feel like probably the Sagittarius, because whoever wins, I feel like I can end up being friends with them afterward.
And I would actually love to see a Sagittarius and Leo compete because I feel like they bring out the best in each other when they try to, at least friendly competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. Would you rather
I didn't get the call.
be stuck in an elevator for 11 hours with a Virgo or a Gemini woman?
Oh God. I would have to choose a Virgo because the Gemini woman would either mirror me too much. Actually, it's funny because with Gemini woman, they don't really talk a lot with me. I find that with Geminis, like they talk. Like my mom's a Gemini, so and my sister has a Gemini moon, so more often than not, they'll talk to me forever if they can, and the conversations would be dope. I just feel like if I was in an elevator for 11 hours with a Virgo, it would seem like 5 hours because they are so funny to me. They're like my fourth and fifth house cusp, so they know how to make situations enjoyable, even if they're being like their naggy, annoying self. It's just completely amusing to me. And with the Gemini, I feel like we would talk, but then we would get pretty quiet for a while because they just switch between talk mode and introvert mode, and on top of looking into a mirror for 11 hours and probably like piss each other off instead of like really I mean at the same time it's a Gemini, so we'd be chill, we'd like mind our own business. But yeah, I'd definitely go with the Virgo. I'd definitely be I'd probably laugh at them while they're all pissed off and angry at the management for not doing their job well and stuff like that.
Yeah. That would be them.
Yeah. So, what part of your zodiac chart do you like the most? Maybe a planet placement or an aspect. What do you feel? Which aspect do you feel like makes you stand out the most, or do you like the most?
I actually love my rising Gemini because I am empathic and intuitive, and I'm very rooted in the feminine energy, and sometimes it's hard for me to explain. I can just do, and even when it comes to performing, like doing the back work scrambles me, and then but putting up the performance, I can just do it, you know what I mean? So the Gemini rising saves me because it helps me come off more intellectual. And it gifts me in my writing ability and just my business side and my communication side, and it helps me to be more mutable in interacting with people because Leo can be pretty fixed. So I'm proud of my rising Gemini.
Nice. Yeah, I like Gemini rising. It's really cool. Is your Gemini rising like near the end of Gemini or in the middle or in the beginning?
It's near the end.
Oh, like the last 10 degrees.
It's 22.27.
Oh, nice. Interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, what are your three favorite zodiac signs, and which three give you the most challenge?
The three signs that I like, this is hard. This depends on the day. But
Right?
I like Sagittarius man. I like Virgos, even though I think that they're evil. I think they're evil. I really like
Oh my God.
I don't know
That's so
why.
funny.
I don't know what that relationship is, but I bond with them well and they cling to me well, but I still think they're evil. But so Sagittarius man, Virgo, and Aries woman, because I don't deal with half of the girly bullshit that I deal with girls. They're too into themselves to give a shit about what I'm doing. So, and the most challenge, Leo man gives me a lot of challenge because it's very competitive and it can be really hot and cool, but at the same time we're so similar, and I have a lot of masculine energy in me. I have a lot of dragon, reptilian energy in me, so I hit ahead with the Leo man because this is a man's world, and they don't know how to accept that feminine, rough energy. And who else? I don't get along with Sagittarius woman as much.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that has something to do with family issues too. It's just I'd like to, but it doesn't work. I find a lot of jealousy within
I
that
was about to
relationship.
say the same thing. I was going to say it's jealousy, huh? They're usually jealous of you.
Yeah, and it's like, come on, let's go play, Sagittarius. And then they have like this sneaky, sinister, bitchy way of dealing with me, and they just hurt my little sensitive lion feelings. I'm like, I can't get close to you bitches. But anyway.
Because they want your sun, the spotlight of the sun.
Yeah, and it's like, let's just be fabulous together. Let's just throw a party. And they're like, shut the fuck up.
That's funny.
So Sag woman, Leo man. I clash with Leo man, but I kind of like it in a way. But and then what else? Let me see. I think Aquarius man. Oh my God, it's stubbornness. Good Lord, it's hard to get through them. I'm either like I'm having really great times with them, or they just make me feel trapped, you know? So.
Interesting. Yeah, Aquarians. Every single Aquarius man that I know is very different from the other. But in that uniqueness, they're alike. It's so weird. However, as a Gemini, I mean they're in my 9th and 10th house, so it's a weird relationship, but it's definitely interesting, especially hearing you saying it from the opposite side point of view. Are your views on sexual relationships in this new age? Do you feel like
Yes, that's my view. Sorry.
much. Thanks for it. Word.
Sorry to cut you off.
Likewise. That was nice.
I'm so ready for free love. It's not even funny. I'm well rooted in that sexual energy. It's one of the challenges I came, like we all come in with particular blueprints that are more prominent in our, like, the way we present ourselves. And for me, sexuality and sensuality is like really strong within me, and I have been like suppressed. People have suppressed me with it, and I've been ostracized by it and abused with it, and I'm ready to release that energy in a healthy way, in a fun-loving way, in a happy way, and it's another expression of love. And we're gonna get to a point where making love is as normal as shaking your hand, and God is love and bliss and feeling good, and what other expression on this earthly plane feels better than having good sex, you know what I mean? So I'm all for it.
I noticed you mentioned that in your most recent video about how, like, you can come from a place where you have your 12 chakra orgasmic feeling on the regular, and then you come here where you can only get access to the root, and it just changes everything. That I wonder if with this whole free love we'd be able to start, activating higher energies in the way we do so, because I do hear ideology and read books, or have been reading about that, and even hearing experiences about people getting to that level. So what do you feel, because that is a very Leo-esque way of and to a degree Aquarian of having it free. What about the Venus and Scorpio individuals out there, or just that Scorpio energy we represent in a way with Pluto there, or those who have it more strongly? Because a big block to really getting this out there are these succubi, vampires who use sex to like drain your energy or to kind of transfer bad energy. How is like sexual protection in that essence, as well as even energy protection, going to cause a factor? How would you give advice for those watching to deal with those kind of people?
I believe that it's based in being able to know thyself and trust the self. And in doing that, you'll be able to protect yourself in any instance. And involving yourself in any sexual matter, you want to tap into your integrity and in your truth, essentially. I know Leos are really, beacons of light for truth. But you want to tap into your integrity, and whether or not it's in tandem with what you want. And, I talk about our feelings being our internal guidance systems, and it will really be the compass to whether or not an energy is going to suck you of negative energy, or if it's going to fill you with life and fill you with experience and fill you with love. And but then I also preach that some karmic lessons have to be learned. So you might have to allow yourself to indulge in that lustful karmic appointment so that you can heal whatever daddy issues you had and understand why it's not working out for you. I see people who either go wild and force a sexual social relationship that's not connected, or like suppress their sexual desires because it's wrong and they're using their intellectual mind too much. And you have to go forward with heart. So it's about playing the game, essentially, and living life. And I know I've had my instances where I had to go forward knowing intellectually, like, this guy is not good for me, but it's like, I have to live my life. And then when you live 100%, you don't keep living out the same karmic relationships with assholes. You commit to whatever it is you're doing, and your soul learns deeply what you need to know, and then you desire something more mature, you desire something more healthy, but because your heart really wants it, not because a book is telling you to or a guru is telling you to. So I feel in all things to follow your own truth and your own intentions and your own heart and whatever it is you're doing. And you might have to go through some negative energy to learn, or you might not, depending on your blueprint.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That was very, very, very nicely put. I feel like Venus getting ready to move past this grand cross, because it is moving away from a trine from Lilith and Leo right now. I feel like sexual stories are going to start like catching people off guard. I mean, if you're in a relationship, maybe not so much, but people are just going to find themselves, you know, having a lot more sex than usual. And I feel that's more because of the energies that you accumulate while you have sex. Like the universe will just be gearing people up to have either one night stands or just passionate lovemaking sessions. But I mean, that's just a small intuition. I, I have one more question before we wrap up today. I really enjoyed this interview. This is really insightful. What advice do you have for those who, like you, want to speak their truth and want to, you know, rise up from whatever negative stigma they may believe has brought them, and just move forward with boldness and courage?
There's this one quote that really stood out to me. It said, "Are you afraid or are you just not ready?" And there's a difference. And you really want to check in to whether or not you're holding yourself back because of what other people think, or if, you know, you're holding yourself back because you're legitimately not ready. And only you can know that. And there's another quote. I'm not going to quote it perfectly, but it's like, when it gets more painful to be in the bud than it is to bloom, you gotta bloom. And so, you know, God is always going to be knocking on your shoulder. The voice of God, your inner calling is always going to remind you of where your heart sings. And I say, you have one life to live. Nobody else is living their life for you. You know, you might have a whole group of people telling you no, but at the end of the day, you're the one who has to sit with that regret. You're the one who has to sit with that suppression. You're the one who has to sit with swallowing your unique voice. They don't. So you want to tap into that divine power in living for you. And Eckhart Tolle has helped me in focusing in the now. Because when you focus on the now and what matters, then you make a beeline for your own objectives. But when you focus on what could be, or what happened in the past, or what someone else is saying, it can really throw your energy off and create a lot of doubt and insecurity. So it's like a boot camp for your soul, and grounding and centering in the now of what matters and where your heart is, and not entertaining things that don't serve you or that will put you off your path. It's like extreme focus.
Because the secret is in the present moment.
Yes.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much, Brittany, for joining me. This is a great episode 7. I like to pay attention to the numerology of my episodes, and I feel like you've helped me fulfill the purpose of 7 in this case. Interestingly enough, I have your YouTube channel in the description box below, but is there any other way anyone can reach or contact you if they want a reading or if they want to talk to you?
Yes, I do oracle card readings and spiritual counseling. So you can contact me at virginialove1234@yahoo.com. And I have a Facebook, so like my Facebook and contact me that way, and let's get it going.
Alrighty, so with that being said, join us next week when I interview the makers of Energy a la Mode, Kristen and Lisa. And I'll see you next week. Peace.